An unhealthy person cannot have a healthy relationship. That is the reality of it. So, with that said, what does that mean for unhealthy people? Are unhealthy people doomed to unhealthy relationships? Is that just the way that it is for them? Well, in this video, I'm going to explore what it means to be an unhealthy individual and the reality for unhealthy individuals, and that they attract unhealthy people, and that they may very well not have healthy relationships, right? So let's look at this, right? There is average, right? And then there is unhealthy, and then there's also healthy, right? And both sides of the spectrum exceed unhealth and exceed health, right? Unhealthy individuals are not going to attract healthy individuals. That's just the way that it is, right? Whatever it is that your trauma is, whatever it is that your marring is, you are likely to attract based on that, right? So if you are exceedingly unhealthy, you're going to attract people that are exceedingly unhealthy. If you are exceedingly healthy, you're also going to attract people that are exceedingly healthy. If you are somewhere around the average part, you're probably going to attract people that are like that. But average is healthy, right? So there's a spectrum. There's healthy, which I guess you could say is average. It's not like the best, right? It's just average. There's unhealthy, and there is like healthiest, right? Um, let's look at the dynamic for individuals that are unhealthy. These are people that lack healthy boundaries. They didn't get the individuation and differentiation necessary in childhood, and they never ended up doing the work on themselves to actually heal and give themselves what they needed to get the healthy boundaries to individuate and to differentiate later on in childhood. Um, I've thought about it for a while, and I actually got a comment from somebody here on one of my YouTube videos asking about this. And I'm here to talk about the reality of this. I'm here to talk about people that enter and stay in unhealthy relationships, right? And not only that, but really understanding the very reality of this, which is if you are not a healthy individual, and when I say healthy, I'm referring to emotional health, right? I'm referring to people that don't have healthy boundaries or people that are boundaryless altogether, people that are not individuated, and people that are not differentiated. This is a reality. If you are an unhealthy individual, like clearly unhealthy individual, right? You lack emotional maturity. Maybe you have the emotional maturity of a little boy or a little girl, right? It doesn't make you good or bad or right or wrong, but it does dictate exactly what your relationship or your relationships are going to look like, right? People that are not healthy are incapable of reciprocating any sort of healthy dynamic with somebody. There will not be any sort of back and forth, give and take mutuality. There will only be a sense of, whether profound or small, narcissism at play. Me, right? Um, and that's not to refer to healthy narcissism, by the way, which is a thing. Um, but yeah, people that are unhealthy and they lack the necessary personal development, right? They lack the necessary emotional health, right? Um, they are not going to attract people that are healthy and are actually capable of healthy, long-term, sustainable relationships. That's the reality of it. There are no ifs, ands, or buts here. This is not black or white. Somebody that is healthy is not going to be attracted to somebody that is unhealthy. Somebody that is healthy, that has healthy boundaries, that has individuated, that has differentiated, they're not going to be attracted to somebody that is unhealthy. If there is somebody that is attracted to somebody that is unhealthy, that other person is also unhealthy. But with that, are unhealthy people doomed to unhealthy relationships? I'm going to take out the word doomed and I'm just going to say that unhealthy people attract unhealthy people. And if an unhealthy person is with another person, whether that other person is healthy or not, again, well, let me make it very clear that an unhealthy person is never going to attract a healthy person, right? Um, Unhealth is unhealth, and that's just the reality of it. That doesn't change. That does not change, right? So, in any relationship of unhealth, you're going to find a lot of turbulence because you're going to find somebody who has either unhealthy defense mechanisms or severely maladaptive defense mechanisms that completely fuck up and hinder the sustainability, the wellness of the relationship. And that's just the way that it is. Um, I think I saw somebody say that unhealthy people are doomed to, or that, yeah, I think somebody said that unhealthy people may have a chance. Unhealthy people are going to attract what they are, unhealthy people, right? Um, Unhealthy relationships are dysfunctional. Sure, you might see them work over the long term, but you'll also look closer at the dynamic and see the dysfunctionality, right? And that's just the reality of it. So the what I'm using to kind of like judge the relationship here is pretty much like when you look at it over the long term, what you see consistently. If what you see consistently in an unhealthy relationship is the turbulence, right? In my eyes, that's not a successful relationship. It's not. And if that's what unhealthy people ascribe and prescribe for themselves, that's what they're going to get. Let me first define what it is here that I'm talking about in terms of a relationship. Let's take away the labels of health and unhealth and all that stuff, right? A relationship, like in the best possible way, is intimate. It is connection. It is, respect. It is growing together, right? My understanding for relationships throughout the past, I would say 4 years now of my life, has changed drastically from what it previously was, right? I used to believe that relationships were a one-way street and I had to work insanely hard just to get crumbs of love and affection from a person. Yet that's garbage and bullshit. Absolutely. Relationships are a mutual, when you relate to somebody, right? Let's look at the word. Let's look at that part of it, right? When you relate to somebody, what is it that you're getting out of it, right? And it's important to look at what it is that you're getting out of it. That's not a selfish thing. Relationships are for mutuality. They're for back and forth, right? Um, why would you get into a relationship with somebody? Whether it's a friend or it's a romantic partner, why would you? Right? These are important questions to ask, and I didn't previously ask myself these questions. I just kind of started being friends with people. I just kind of started romantic relationships with people. I mean, I know why I did. I'm not going to get into that, but I remain keeping that boundaried, of course. Um, I'm not going to say that unhealthy people are doomed to unhealthy relationships that are dysfunctional and that are not sustainable. Um, but what I am going to say is that you attract what you are. And if you are an individual that is unhealthy, if you are an individual that lacks emotional maturity, if you are an individual that has unhealthy or maladaptive defense mechanisms, um, no healthy or exceedingly healthy individual is going to choose to have a long term relationship with you because they're going to see you as you are and they're going to be like, yeah, nope. And that's just the way that it is. Um, if and only until or only if you do the work on yourself are things going to change. Somebody that is healthy is not going to be with somebody that is emotionally immature, that has the emotional maturity of a little boy or a little girl, right? That's just the reality of it. So understanding that for what it is changes a lot. Um, I'll say, instead of saying that unhealthy people are doomed to unhealthy relationships, unhealthy people are going to be in relationships with other people that are unhealthy. You're never going to attract what you're not, right? If you are a healthy individual, you'll attract healthy people. If you are an unhealthy individual, you will attract unhealthy people. And if that is what the pattern is, right, and you don't do anything to change that, then that's what you're going to continue experiencing. And that's all there is to it.